Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know a lot of you follow me for quite some time now, and I recently switched from my Fujifilm X-S20 to the Sony a7C II as my main video camera. But this is not going to be one of those why I sold my Fujifilm X-S20 videos. Instead, I want to talk about why it's actually good to stick with your gear and not to constantly change your camera and your lenses, and make the most out of what you already own. Let's be honest, in the world of photography and videography, there's always a new must-have camera every 3 months. It feels like we're thrown with so much tech that it feels like overwhelming, and we feel like, we do have to get the newest stuff and everything is not enough that we have. But here's the thing, constantly chasing the newest camera is going to take away your focus from the one thing you should do with your current stuff, and that is creating art and photography. Most of the time, the gear you already have is more than enough to create some amazing content. Now, yes, I did switch my camera, and for my specific reason, it was necessary to do so, but that doesn't mean that everyone who watches this video has to change from the X-S20 to the Sony camera. That's just not realistic, and that shouldn't be the case. And here's something that's not said enough in the world of YouTube, and the thing is, when you stick with the same camera, with the same lenses, you get better at using them. You can focus more on creativity, you can focus more on your composition, you can focus more on the light that you use, and all the stuff we cannot focus on when we learn new camera specs. When we don't know how to use our camera, then we cannot focus on the other stuff. And if we master our own gear, we can get incredibly far with the quality. And this is really important to me because I have the problem as well. I thought when I started this channel, I thought, oh my God, I need a light, I need the camera, I need the thing that is on. I don't know the word right now, but I'm not gonna cut it out. In German it's called Stativ. I don't know the word right now. That makes me a little bit crazy, but all in all, I want to tell you that I also watch YouTube videos. I also watch those videos with the newest gear, and I think, this lens is amazing. This camera is amazing. And I want to buy it. I want to test it out. But in the end, most of the time, I have to be aware of how I use it, because when I have the newer 23mm lens instead of the old one, I have the same field of view, I have the same thing how I have to use it. The quality is a bit better, of course, but in the end, the viewer, or you guys, of course some of you will see the difference, but for your home, for your work that you do at home, if you don't do this as professionally, then you don't have to worry about it. You can create fantastic images with an f2 lens for an APS-C camera, the same way you can create fantastic images with an f1.4 lens for an APS-C camera. And that's, and I cannot tell this enough. I have the same problem. I always want the best, but in the end, it doesn't matter, I think, to a certain point. And I can master the things that I have and get the best out of it. And if that's not enough anymore, then it's a good reason to upgrade. Then you can go to the newest thing for yourself. And of course, if you have a ton of money to spend, then always buy the newest stuff. Of course you will, but I don't have that, and I also have to look on my money. I cannot have 10 cameras at the same time. I am not sponsored by anyone. I do this all on my own budget, on my own income, and so I have the same issues as you guys, and I can tell you from my own experience, be aware of your gear. Don't watch too many YouTube videos because it will make you buying new stuff that you don't need. And you can also do this in small ways. You know, for example, you don't have to buy the newest camera model all the time. Instead, maybe if you want to buy something, if you want to upgrade your work, then buy a new lens. You know, buy, as I said, an f1.4 instead of an f2 lens, and to create some better bokeh for your work. And it feels like, yeah, you know, and now I can take it to the next step. So what I want to say is that instead of buying a new camera all the time, you know, just focus on what can make your work better, on what is it that you exactly need at this moment that you don't have to level up your work. And for example, it is a lens. For example, it is, you know, a light that you don't have right now at the moment. And, you know, it's also expensive. Don't get me wrong here, but in the end, you post a picture to Instagram. Think about it. You know, you don't need 100 megapixel camera for that. You know, nobody will see the difference on Instagram. Nobody will see the difference on YouTube because it's compressing all the files. So the only thing, you know, where it matters to have many megapixels, like for example, why I didn't buy the Sony A7R5, because I don't need 60 megapixels. It's nice to have, of course, but I don't print big walls, you know, I don't do that. And it's also a thing to be honest to yourself. What is it that you actually need for the work? And yeah, it's also a hard topic for me, as you can hear. You know, I'm very emotional because I know some of you out there, you know, you have the same urge to buy new stuff all the time. We all have. We're photographers, you know, we want to try out the newest stuff. But honestly, most of the time we don't need it. It's nice to have, but we don't need it. Let's be honest to ourselves. So I wanted to tell you in short notice why I changed my camera from the X-S20 to the A7C2. It was the firmware update. I updated the recent firmware update to the newest software, and I felt like I filmed simple stuff like this here, and I couldn't get the camera to focus when I, you know, move my hand, you know, and when I take it back, now it focuses perfectly. But in the Fujifilm camera then, it stayed like this, but without the hand, it was like unfocused. And that was an absolute no-go, and my whole video was, you know, for the garbage because I couldn't use the material, and I was a bit angry, I have to say. And then I just feel like I was really painful, you know, I was really in pain. And then I sold the X-S20, and I was like, now it's time to try out something new, something reliable in video. Don't get me wrong here, in video in continuous autofocus. Also, don't get me wrong here, because I need it for my particular setup. I need the focus to work, and now I don't have to worry about it anymore. And I film right now on the 20mm f1.8 full frame, and that's also a very, you know, exciting topic for me because I never had a full frame camera. I never used one, and you know, the A7C2 is also very compact. It's small, like the X-S20, and this is a great setup for me, and where I feel like I can do my stuff best, and the camera is not in the way of what I do. And you know, maybe you have seen a lot of Fujifilm autofocus videos recently, and where people complain about it, and I have the same issues with the X-S20. With the X-T5, it's different. You know, I tried out the same video moves, like, you know, I pulled the camera around and looked if it focuses all the time, and it worked pretty fine. But in the X-S20, it didn't work, and it was like, that was really frustrating because I liked the camera. I wanted to keep it, but it felt like, you know, a sign that I had to change my gear. And it's also great to compare stuff now. You know, this will improve the channel a lot because I can use different lenses, I can use different systems and compare them instead of just focusing on one. And as I say always, it doesn't matter what camera brand you have. You can have Canon, Sony, Nikon, Fujifilm. It doesn't matter, you know. The only thing matters is what you need for your work. And in this case, I need reliable autofocus, and that's why I got the camera. It's that easy. Maybe an additional info to the X-S20, like, which fits to the topic of this video. If you use this camera for photos like where you just use single autofocus, you don't have to worry about it. It will work perfectly fine. This is like a fail moment. Wow, look at that. This is how YouTubers work in the background. You need this, right? It's better for the video. But I will cut this out. I leave it in because it's funny. And where was I? Single autofocus works perfectly fine. No issues. As well as in all the Fujifilm cameras. Single autofocus, perfect. Continuous autofocus. It worked really fine on the X-S20 before the update. I had almost no issues for the work that I do, for the stuff that I need. Always also important. It doesn't mean that it was perfect. No, don't get me wrong here. But now for the stuff I needed it to do, it wasn't good enough anymore. That doesn't mean you don't have to sell it. If you use it for simple videos where you don't film like moving subjects all the time, where you don't film like portrait stuff, to a certain point it will work good. But if you just keep moving and stuff like that, it will get hard for the camera, I think, with the current firmware system. And that's a bit frustrating because I think Fujifilm has the hardware to do it. It has, you know, the base is there, I would say. They just need to fine-tune their software, their firmware. I don't know when this will happen because it wouldn't be happening for a long time now. And for me, I needed to change because I want to create videos. I need to create videos for my own, you know, business, for my own brand. Not that I get money off this, but you know, as my creative spirit. And yeah, so don't feel like you do have to sell now your X-S20 if you have one, for example. But yeah, it's just my case. So I want to use this video, you know, as a reminder to improve your skills, improve what you have by mastering your abilities. And when you're done all that, and when you feel like now it's time to move on to a new system, to a new camera, then go ahead, buy stuff. And also, if you just want to buy new stuff, then buy new stuff. But I often feel like I am, for myself, that I buy stuff that I don't need. And then it's like, oh, it's nice to have. And then I have the light in my, you know, in the room, and I don't use it, and it's there for months and I don't use it. And, you know, I want to keep you from that feeling, you know, and focus on creating art, create photography, create videos, and get out there and shoot, because that's the fun of this art. It's not to buy the newest stuff. It's not to have the newest stuff to be the best. You know, you can be a photographer with the best stuff, with the best gear, and then there's a photographer who has only one camera, one lens for years and is still creating better photos. So I hope you can take this away from this video, that you don't have to feel like to buy new stuff every day, and just create art and post it online and be happy with it. And this is the most important part, to feel happy, to feel confident, to feel good when you're taking photographs. And I know how hard it can be. I know, you know, I was like taking photos for a long time now, and sometimes I felt like it wasn't fun anymore. And because I felt like I have to be better all the time. I have to have new stuff, and then I wait to create new stuff because I don't have it at the moment. And when I have it, I still don't create the stuff that I want to do. And recently I just got out into the city, I just shot some B-roll of the city, and it was so fulfilling. It was so freeing to, get out and just do stuff. And it didn't matter what camera I had. It didn't matter what lens I had on the body. It was just about creating art. And that's my word for today. So thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you someone that sticks with your camera in the long haul, or are you constantly upgrading every year or every 2 years? This would be really interesting for me. So let's chat down below. And if you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss my newest videos. Let's see you next time. I hope you're doing all right, and bye.